Yeah, each level of the game has different time periods. You start in the present, but throughout each level, you can travel to either like the past version of that level or the future. Before I continue, this is where we first introduced to, or this is where we're introduced to a new character, Amy Rose. One of, I guess you could say, is like the somewhat quote unquote love interest of Sonic. I only say that because the feeling is not mutual. Like, she loves Sonic, but Sonic doesn't really love her back. And then we just saw her get kidnapped by Metal Sonic, another character introduced in this game. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah, so as you can see right here, when you see those little like blue circles following me, that means I am about to time travel, but I stopped, so that didn't work. Yeah, so there is a, so the point of the game is to try to get a good future at every stage. And the only way you do that, there are two ways about going to do it. So each zone has a, oh, which by the way, the acts in this game are now called zones, and the levels are called rounds instead of zones, which, yeah, it's a little weird, but that's just how it is. So, what you so each zone contains, so to get a good feature in this game, there are two ways of getting it. Each zone has a robotic machine. I don't remember exactly what the machines are called, but basically Dr. Eggman put a robotic, like a machine that creates robots in the past to be able to make the robots in the future. All these robots that you see here, and you need to destroy that machine in the past to be able to get the good future of the zone. And it has to be in the past, because if you try destroying it in the present, the machine will already like have been destroyed due to like wear in time, or wear over time. And yeah, you could, if that's the case in the present, you could just forget about it in the future. So you need to do that, but you need to do that for each zone. Each zone contains one. And to get like the good future, yeah, to get the good future, oh wow. Yeah, to get the good future or the entire good future for the round, you need to get it for all the zones, not just one. The other way is through the special stages. So you remember how we got the Chaos Emeralds for both the game, for both Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So there's special stages in this game for that, although this time, instead of getting Chaos Emeralds, we're getting what is called Time Stones, which is native to Little Planet. There's 7 in them, and if you collect them all, then from that point on, all the rounds will automatically have good futures. If you don't do either of those, the default is basically a bad future. And the whole point of that is, depending on which futures you get, will determine the ending of the game. So this game does have 2 different endings. If you just get all bad features or all good features. And yeah. So because of that, I am actually, what I'm going to be doing for this game is I'm going to be doing 2 different runs. I'm going to be doing a good feature run and a bad feature run. So the one I'm doing right now, this is going to be the bad feature run. It's pretty much straightforward. I don't really have to do anything, just play the game like I would like a regular Sonic game. And that's how I do bad feature. But then once I beat this run, I'll do it again and I'll showcase the good feature, because I do want to show the 2 different endings. And this game, since there's a bunch of, like I said, there's a good feature and a bad feature, I do really want to showcase the levels, how they look, because it's just, these levels are beautifully done. Like, the amount of detail is amazing. And this was only possible because the game was put on a CD. Since CDs had more space and more capability to be able to use more vibrant colors, more details, and add a lot more, like a bunch of different layouts for each level. Now because of that, this game, Sonic games tend to have a balance between speed and platforming. While this game still does have that, exploration is more encouraged. That's why, you know, this is like one of the only Sonic games where you can actually go past 10 minutes. Like, you don't die after a certain time limit for being too slow. So you're encouraged to kind of like backtrack and stuff, because that's why there's a bunch of time traveling posts everywhere. And then even finding the machine, the robotic machine, or robot producing machine. You know, there's only one, and it's not like they tell you where it's located. Oh, well, that was close. So, yeah, once you're like in the past, and let's say like you're towards the end and you haven't found the machine, and you want to get the good feature, yeah, you're gonna have to go back in the zone. You're gonna have to backtrack in the zone to be able to find the machine. Now onto the soundtrack. So this game, the soundtrack for this game is a bit of a unique case because it actually contains 2. It contains the Japanese and European soundtrack, right? I believe the European version uses the Japanese soundtrack. I could be wrong though. And the US version had its own soundtrack composed. The reason for this, I believe, was, no, I might be wrong on this, but I think it's just because the US didn't really vibe with the Japanese soundtrack, so they wanted to make their own soundtrack. I don't know why the US decided to do that. It's not bad per se, it's just the US or the Japanese soundtrack is better in my opinion. So that is the soundtrack that I'm using for this game, or for this run. Oh, I got a life. Wait, am I in the past? No, I don't think Yeah, the Japanese soundtrack I just prefer. But yeah, the American soundtrack is it's still pretty good. I will be using the US soundtrack for the Good Future run though, just cause I really want to showcase both soundtracks, even though I prefer the Japanese. I feel like you guys should hear both if you haven't. Yeah, you guys should hear both, so that is what I'm gonna do. Nice. Alright, now I'll show the past of this level. And yeah, we'll see what the past of this level looks like. So for a long time, this game was a bit obscure for Sonic fans, because this game had only ever been ported like I think 3 or 4 times. So you had the original release for the Sega CD, which came out in 1993. Then they made a PC port back in '96. Yeah, they made a PC port back in '96. And then after that, they didn't make another port until I believe 2003. I don't know the year it came out, but when the Sonic Gems collection did contain Sonic CD, and the Gems collection was made to basically showcase some of Sonic's more obscure games. I mean, that is the whole point of the Gems, because the Mega Collection, the whole point of that one is to showcase Sonic's most famous games. And then after that, we didn't get a port until 2011, which is the remastered port, which is what I'm playing. This game was made, or this version of the game was made by Christian Whitehead, who is known for making he was known for making Sonic fan games on the internet. Pretty good ones from what I've heard. I don't know, I've never really played a lot of Sonic fan games, so I can't really tell you. And I will go over the special stages, but not in this run, just because I'm not trying to get the time stone, since I'm trying to get the bad ending. If anything, actually, I should just keep doing this. Yeah, I just kind of go into those rings like a force of habit. Yeah, so Sonic CD back then, like before 2011, I guess, it was a bit of a, you know, like not everyone had heard of it, and getting your hands on a copy of one was not really easy. I mean, if you had it from CD, then you had the game when you had a Sega Genesis /CD, then that made life easier for you. If you had a PC, that also made it easier, because getting PC games is not that hard. And then I guess really the only easy way of getting it at that time was just getting like the Gems collection for the GameCube and PlayStation. But the only problem with that one is that, just like the Genesis collection, that game uses an emulated version of the game. And if you lived here in the US, you would play the US version, and the US version, you know, it contained the US soundtrack and other like weird localizations. But this is why I love this the remastered port, because it allows you to basically change between soundtracks, which I love the localization. So now we know like the true story and all that. Uh, like it's better. Like for example, well actually before I get into that.